Today's episode, we find out which type of gamers have the highest IQs, how new gen systems are being stolen, and more game industry news. We then talk about what games to look forward to this year for new and past gen consoles. I'm your host, Danny Martinez, and this is the Drunken Guardian Gaming Podcast. All right, Randy, so how you doing today?
I am doing A-okay. And I'm actually kind of proud, like a little side note in terms of how I'm doing. I platinumed Okami today.
You platinum? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I don't remember the last... Actually, I do remember the last game I platinumed. Guess what it is?
Destiny?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's pretty much the only game I hardcore play like that. Everything else I just want to get through, and then that's pretty much it. I don't chase after trophies or achievements.
Do you know the first game I platinumed?
What?
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Of course. I should have guessed first.
Mm-hmm.
Do you chase like platinum trophies, or
no.
Do you just run into them?
What was it? For Kingdom Hearts 2, I definitely chased that one because I wanted to. Okami, when I got it way before I got the all-in-one bundle for KH. But I was saying that I wanted to do it, and I stopped playing for a really, really, really long time. So when I went back, I had like 40 hours in it, and then I was like, fuck it, might as well. So I did it. That's
cool. It's a nice feeling, but I don't know. It's not something I was super, like when the 360 first started the trend for achievement points, I was obsessed with like ranking stuff up, because it would, like, even though you didn't get anything out of it, like it was just bragging rights. And
yeah,
like,
it's a good feeling.
Really rub it in, yeah. I would go online and I would chase after like those easy 1,000-point games, like the easy achievement points, so I can just like beat them real quick and just raise up my ranking and stuff. But after a while, I just got tired of it. And I guess the older you get, the more like you value your time. So
at that point, you're like, should I do this?
Yeah.
To be fair though, it's not like I'm going to try to platinum every game that I have. It's just like the ones that I do thoroughly enjoy. Kingdom Hearts 1 is next. I just have 2 more. The first one? 3 more for that. Yeah.
Okay. What do you got left for it?
Mini games in Jiminy's Journal. Get all the shields for Goofy, which I just need 1 fucking shield. It keeps eluding me, and then to beat it on Proud mode. So.
Okay. Fair enough. That's cool. Well, so we're gonna get on the news, and so Hogwarts Legacy. Do you remember that game? Do you remember it being announced?
Yeah, I saw it when it was for the PS5 thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, I was pretty excited when I saw that. Like, I'm not a fan of the series itself, like Harry Potter, but it looked interesting from what they showed.
Same here. I'm a fan of the franchise. Like, I've seen the movies. I played a handful of the games, and the games weren't that great, but it's an interesting world. It's an interesting franchise, but I'm not like hardcore. But I was actually genuinely excited about this, since it was like essentially an MMORPG.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they have announced that they pushed back. The game was supposed to be in 2021. They pushed it back to 2022. So we're going to be waiting another year for the game. Hopefully it's just to add more to it, and there's not too much wrong with the game, so they could bring it back in a timely manner. Yeah. For those who don't know, the developers is Avalanche Studios, and it's going to be published by Portkey Games, which is a label that's used for Warner Brothers Studios. So it's supposed to release on all consoles, plus the PC. But one thing comes to mind, the fact that it got delayed, especially for 2022, since 2020 and 2021 it's so incredibly hard right now to get a PS5, and right now the new generation consoles are very popular. Do you think that the game will still be released for the old consoles when it comes out in 2022?
Probably not, honestly, because if they're going to cut down production of the PS4, like we mentioned last time, that means that they're probably going to make more PS5s available. So around that time, almost everyone's going to have a PlayStation 5 for sure.
God, I hope so. I wish nothing but like PS5s for everyone, and I still don't see that happening even by the end of this year. It's just ridiculous.
If it's not by the end of this year, probably like early mid next year, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that'll make sense. Especially, I would think they'd want to really ramp up production when the new holidays start next, this coming December.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see, or November for that matter, but we'll see. Like, is there anything that you're excited for with the franchise? Like, is there anything that's appealing to you about Hogwarts Legacy?
Honestly, from what I remember of it, and being in like the PS5, I guess reveal, just the art style in of itself, and also the fact that it's, how to put it, I guess it'll be like a grown-up's Wizard 101.
Yeah.
So it's just like the novelty of actually enjoying kind of like an OC in the Harry Potter universe, as opposed to just playing, Harry, and that's about it.
Yeah, it always felt like, whenever you played the Harry Potter story, like you were still playing a children's game because, even though it does get more adult and more darker, the franchise anyways, the books were always meant for kids or teenagers for that matter. So that's the same thing with the games. But this Hogwarts game felt more for adults. It felt more like, anyone could pretty much jump into it. So, yeah. So the next article that we got going on, is an article from GameDebate.com that I got off, is saying Arcane Studios, they're apparently working on a new IP, which they say is a fantasy genre. Arcane Studios, for those who know, they developed Dishonored and Prey.
Oh.
And were you a fan of any of those games?
Dishonored, yes, but to be fair, I only played the first one. I haven't touched the second one. And Prey, I've only seen like gameplay of it, but it looks interesting.
Dishonored 2, I'm probably going to catch hate for this, but it wasn't as great as you'd think. I really do like the first one a lot, but the second one I only got through half of it because I couldn't get into it that much. Maybe my taste kind of just changed on the whole, how the gameplay works. But don't stress over like not playing part 2. It wasn't appealing to me.
I mean, sometimes sequels do kind of fall flat.
Yeah,
not all of them, but it's like the first game will be really good in setting like a base story, their own universe, and the mechanics as a whole. And then just the second one, it's like, oh, what if we try to do a little extra? And then it just, it
becomes too much sometimes. Yeah, they kind of either add too much or it's kind of more the same thing. It's a balance that sometimes it just doesn't work out. But yeah, the article they mentioned, the reason why they think, Arcane Studios is working on this new fantasy genre, they have a LinkedIn page from Lisa Sherreri, which is a senior VFX artist at Arcane Studios. They posted up something and it says unannounced project in Unreal 4 fantasy. So like, okay, it's a fantasy game, so they're working on something new, which to be honest, I hope it's very different from what they usually make, because I'm kind of tired of like that first person system that they kind of use. Prey played a lot like Dishonored. Of course it was set in a sci-fi setting though. So I would like for them to kind of aim towards something more different.
Just expand their horizons a little bit, if anything.
Yeah. I mean, I understand too that a lot of studios like to stick to what they know, so that way not only is it safer for the publishers because they're just like, okay, hey, these guys are good with these type of games, let's fund them and they'll make us some money. So they'll play it safe, but sometimes you just kind of have to break that cycle.
Yeah. Otherwise, it just like stagnates.
Mm-hmm. In other news, I don't know if you heard about this because this is kind of everywhere, but I'm reading an article right now from Polygon.com. It talks about people stealing mail. Have you heard anything about this?
I mean, that's kind
before I even get it started at all.
Pardon me.
Yeah,
that's kind of like an everyday occurrence, but
yeah.
Go on.
So we've had a hard time buying a PS5 or a Series X. So even if like for some reason you were able to check one out, like actually buy one, there's still a chance it could get stolen in the mail. There've actually been reports of that. Now, although this article here talks about events that's happened before the PS5 was even released, this is still something to keep in mind. I'm going to read this part here from Polygon. It says, Zoeb A. Dura, 34 years old, of Derby, Connecticut, was fined $20,000 and sentenced to 3 years probation, the first 9 months of which he must serve in home confinement. He pleaded guilty in October to the theft between February and April 2020 of numerous packages, including ones containing PlayStation and Nintendo gaming devices, as well as Apple iPhone and computer. Oh, man.
Well,
so
then.
he stole a shit ton of gaming systems, phones, computers, things like that. And even though this news is old because this was before the PS5 release, there are reports out there of people getting their PlayStation 5s and Series X stolen. For example,
I don't mean to cut you off. But, I'm looking at. I actually looked up the article right now, the one that you're reading, and you kind of failed to mention a very, very, very important detail here.
The George Foreman grill.
There's a George Foreman grill? No.
That's what I was going to mention was like, there was even a package that was stolen that was replaced with a George Foreman grill, as if that was supposed to pass for a PS5. But go on. What were you going to say?
That's holy shit. That's really grimy. But no, that the Zoeb A. Dura, as you mentioned, he was a United States Postal Service supervisor. So
he's a supervisor.
Yeah, it's literally right there. Federal prosecutors announced Wednesday that a USPS supervisor had been sentenced in the case involving consoles stolen from the mail during the spring. So it's literally the Postal Service that was stealing it.
Yeah. And so this is he was...
Well, not the service, but the workers, some of.
Yeah.
Before I badmouth the USPS even further.
Oh, man. And then like... I'm sure that Amazon might be no different because obviously that's a separate entity, but you can still kind of get an idea of, if you're delivering a big package that's fairly heavy, certain measurements and dimensions, you kind of get the feeling, it's going to be a gaming system. So that kind of like tempts those people to kind of just steal it.
Yeah.
So it makes me paranoid now to even order a PlayStation because what happens when you order it and it gets stolen? You can't get it replaced. There's no way you can get it replaced. They don't even have enough systems to cover people who actually want to buy it and actually receive it. Like, how are you going to get one that was stolen?
Oh, I see the George Foreman.
Yeah. An actual picture on their Twitter too.
Yeah,
it's freaking. I don't know. I know it's first world problems. But that's five.
Oh, definitely.
That's somewhere between $400 to $600 that you're spending on something, and it's just gone.
It's still somebody being a thief.
What is even the point? Just deliver an empty box. Like, why are you even giving people random shit? Is it going to pass for a PlayStation? Like, what is the point?
I mean, even then, like, is it really that serious to do all this shit for a PlayStation?
Well, I not that I'm saying I condone theft or anything, but I understand that, when it's hard to get something, especially something that you can't have, it's more tempting, to take it because it's just there. I mean, I can't afford this.
He can't have it if he's, again, the supervisor for the USPS handling all this mail. Like, I do understand it, just like you said, but I don't know. The $20,000 and 3 years probation is not.
It's not worth it. Absolutely not. No. Like, did you think you get away with this? It's a federal offense to steal this stuff. Like, why would you risk your entire life? Fuck the fine. Like if you can probably pay off the fine in 10 to 20 years, but
in PlayStations.
Yeah, but oh man, you could have gone to jail for years, and your record's still tarnished regardless right now for this probation stuff and home confinement. Like, it's not worth it. So we're going to move on to the next article and just forget that ever happened. Again, another announcement that was done, Ubisoft and Massive Games, which is part of Ubisoft, they've announced that they're working on an open world Star Wars game. So not only that news, that they announced that they're working with Lucasfilm Games, which was an old company. It was dissolved by EA years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, apparently, aren't they, done?
Yeah, they were. They were for a long time. It was LucasArts for a while, Lucasfilm, and then it became LucasArts, and EA bought them off. But apparently, they're coming back thanks to Disney because they own the rights to everything Star Wars, so they want to bring back the name because it's so well known. While they don't have many details on the game, they do know that the project has begun, and EA still has a few years left of their Star Wars contract before it can move on to like other developers and publishers. But this is a big deal, regardless, that a new developer can finally, well, not developer, because Lucasfilm is the publisher. It's a new publisher can actually work with these games and work with developers who are actually more passionate about this than EA could ever be with any game. So what do you think about all this news?
I mean, not having heard that name for a while, it's interesting. It's exciting almost to hear it again. For an open world, okay. I'm just kind of used to like hearing their name with a point and click, so I'm like still trying to process all of this. You know what I mean?
Like Monkey Island and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I get that. I mean, Lucasfilm still did a couple of, like a small handful of Star Wars games. Nothing that was too successful.
Did they do the N64 one?
Rogue Squad? Not Rogue Squadron.
No. Shadow of the Empire. That is the one I'm thinking about. Shadows of the Empire.
Okay.
But yeah, they also had Rogue Squadron.
Yeah. They did a handful. Some of them were okay, and they did pretty decent. So I mean, I'm glad to be back, and it's a freaking great sign that finally it's getting out of the hands of EA, so they can actually make some decent games again without having to worry about grinding people. You know, how do you say, wringing them of all their money? You know, because that's all they care about. So at least they can make something quality, and then I could throw my money at them
without a paywall, hopefully.
Without a paywall or pay to play or anything like that.
Pay to win.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, my expectations are kind of low.
For the Ubisoft game,
honest. Yeah. Because before they were like really good as a company, but now it's just like they have a very generic kind of cookie cutter way of making a game, where it's open world. On paper, it sounds great, but all it's going to be is just a big ass map with all these little fucking like, oh, go here, go here, go here, and I don't know. It just I hope that it's not like every new Assassin's Creed game or every fucking Far Cry game just with the Star Wars name on it.
It's funny you say that, because I was listening to the Game Scoop podcast today, IGN's podcast, and they were saying the same thing, how they're hoping that Ubisoft doesn't like just try to make a Division clone in the Star Wars universe.
Oh, God.
Like you were just saying, it's an open world, just like Division, but it tells you, hey, go here, do this, do that. It's a fetch quest. It's a, go kill this boss quest, and then that's it, you're done. I hope it's more deeper than that, and you can do a lot more than what the Division can offer. So I don't know, we'll see.
Or just any fucking Ubisoft game at this point.
Yeah. If it's going to be an open world RPG, I would hope it could play like an open world KOTOR game, Knights of the Old Republic.
That'd be pretty neat.
I would hope, but that's a BioWare thing, so that they'd have to like do something different, obviously, but at least some
something with that skeleton, if anything.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Because honestly, like I don't really play the Far Cry games. It's not my cup of tea, but each one looks the exact fucking same. So it kind of goes to show you just like how Ubisoft is as a developer. With even their Assassin's Creed game, they just got really fucking boring after a while. Yeah,
that's the thing. That's the thing with some formulas, is that it's really hard to break the mold because it's just safe. And I don't know, they don't want to try anything different, I guess, because whatever they're doing is working. But it gets kind of boring after a while, and they should try something new.
It's definitely boring because it's been that way for exactly how long now? Like, okay, let's see. Far Cry 5. When did that one come out? 2018. 4 came out in 2014. And 3 came out in 2012. For the past 8 fucking years, it's been the same thing.
That's why I haven't played a Far Cry since Part 3, actually, because it's all been the same stuff. It's just a large map. You go to something that's equivalent to a tower, so you can kind of like expand your vision on the map, and then
like
you kind of just
you go up and then see the
exactly
the right?
Exactly. And it's just, I don't know.
And even then, like again with the Far Cry thing, aside from being like the Ubisoft game where it's markers everywhere, they have their own kind of. We have our witty villain, because for 3 it was Vaz, 4 was Pagan Min, and then 5 was fucking beard dude over there. What the hell's his name? I don't even know his name.
Beard dude.
He has a beard, doesn't he?
You talking about the new one?
Yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito was his name.
Dude, I don't know.
Giancarlo. Oh man, I can't remember his name. The dude from Breaking Bad.
I didn't watch the series. I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez, I'm shaking my head. Good. It's a good show. You really need to get into that. But he plays a good villain. But that is a good point, though, that Far Cry is more like their gameplay has always been the same. But what stands out in every game is their villain. They've always been very good with their villains
at the same time. Because even though it's okay, Pagan Min differs from Vaz and the guy from 5, but either way, it's this charismatic evil guy that you're like, wait, what's your actual deal? You're intrigued because of their charisma, but that doesn't change the fact that it's just a charismatic villain.
Yeah.
It's just a guy that you're like, oh, okay, now what?
I remember what you're talking about with 5 now. It was the one with the cult.
Yes.
I didn't play that one either, obviously, but I did see the previews and stuff. But yeah, you're right. They're all different, but at the same time, they're all just pretty much a charismatic villain. I guess it all depends on which villain appeals to you more. Because the only villain that I really did like that was appealing to me was Voss. Like, he was a really fun, interesting villain at the time. And then after a while, he, other villains that come out and they're kind of just all the same after a while. It's like, okay, I get it. Yeah, like you just said, like, yeah, I get it. You're witty. You're smart. Yeah, you're a smart ass. You got these smart aleck, comments and stuff like that. We get it now. Okay,
yeah.
Done. Stop talking, please.
Also, to kind of backpedal a little bit, so I'm not seeing like a fucking villain or whatever. Just because they are cut from the same cloth, it doesn't discredit them as their own individual beings. Because Vaz is a very methodical psychopath. Pagan Min is like calm and collected, but also fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know how to beat the game in like 15 minutes, right? Just like stand there and then,
just sit there. Yeah.
So it's like he's compassionate. So okay, that's his gimmick, and I don't know what the fuck is up with Cult Man in 5, but I don't know. It's just for all the differences, there are too many similarities, and the fact that they don't want to take a chance in expanding their own kind of view on how to make a game, it's saddening and also kind of terrifying because all the games that are coming out now are too similar.
It's a good point. I mean, I am excited that it is finally getting into the hands of other people, the Star Wars franchise anyways, but you make a good point. You do make a good point that Ubisoft kind of tends to play it safe with the kind of formula that they use, so hopefully they do something different for this franchise. Because this is a big deal, because this could make or break them, essentially, because if they fuck up the Star Wars franchise for themselves, then they're not going to touch it anytime further, and then that's it, they're done, and then it'll move on to somebody else. So I mean, we'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed.
So moving on to another article, one from Gamer Rant. They have an article about a study which investigates the environmental impact of gaming consoles. Now, that study shows is what that study shows is that each console, namely like the PS5 and the Series X, they both have a carbon footprint which may affect pollution. For example, they mentioned cloud gaming as opposed to digital or physical gaming actually uses way more energy since servers are being used in the back end to provide service. They also mention having your system on standby helps with energy consumption at home, but collectively it uses a great deal of it, which also affects our environment. What do you think about that, about the effects of our environment in gaming?
I mean, you could say that with any appliance, honestly. So I don't know. But
gaming is getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year, though. So of course this is going to be something that's going to affect us more and more.
Yeah, but I don't feel like it's as big as just living in general has been as of all these past years. And by that I mean like other household appliances. Your fucking microwave, your fridge. If you have a dishwasher at home, a little personal laundromat, just shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know people love to shit on video games. Like we said before, people blame a lot of stuff on video games. Horrendous fucking events even. I feel like this is one of those articles that kind of wants to do that. I could be wrong, but again,
I don't think they're trying to shit on it. Like you guys can check out the article so you can be more specific, because obviously this is the small
in a nutshell
gist of it, in a nutshell. But I think they want to bring awareness to the fact that now, because gaming has become so popular now, and they're in more households more than ever, that we have to also be mindful now of the energy consumption that is caused by this as well. I don't think they're saying, oh, we should stop gaming, or we should all unplug our systems, or don't buy one because it's we're going to kill our world over a PlayStation. But it's always good to be aware of the things that you have turned on, and whether it be on standby or whatnot, and how it's affecting everything.
Well, yeah, no, I know it's not a whole, we're killing our Earth or whatever. Yeah. But I also feel like it might just be kind of common sense to not have your PlayStation on standby, because that will still run up your bill regardless.
Yeah, I still have a habit of doing it myself, and even like I'll put my computer on standby, even it'll just sit there for days before I even get to shut it down, and I'll forget. Yeah, I'm not helping the Earth whatsoever.
And you're why they have the article. No, all my shit's always turned off, so it's like, I don't know. I personally feel like it's kind of common sense. Like, yeah, standby is still going to take up energy. It's not off, so it's not like, oh no, the energy's going to sit here and not go anywhere. Like, it's not how it works.
Yeah, I think more so now, me being the adult who pays bills, I think I would shut my stuff off more often now. I have been getting into the habit of shutting stuff off. Occasionally I'll still do standby, but I'll shut things off because of my damn electricity bill. So, because like you said, everything's on standby, you're still taking up electricity. Why am I raising my electricity bill for just keeping something on standby so it could easily be turned on? Like, just shut it off, save some money.
Yeah, those extra 10, 15 seconds aren't going to hurt you. But those extra like $20-$40, they fucking might. Exactly.
Yeah, I just got my bill this week and I wasn't happy with it, so I gotta ease up on the consumption myself.
Just like take a little screenshot of the article itself and put it as your desktop
as a reminder. Yeah,
that way whenever you like shut everything, like close all your tabs, you're like, oh shit, right, energy consumption, and just turn it off. I don't know, but just that article applies to literally everything.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Just be mindful of energy consumption in general. The things that you have plugged in, aside from PCs and gaming consoles and stuff, a freaking coffee maker, and we have like a water, what do you call those? Water kettle thingies that heat up by itself to make tea and stuff. Like that's always plugged in, and we should always unplug it and stuff. So
you got a toaster? You're not making toast? Unplug that.
Yeah, just unplug it. Yeah.
You had a George Foreman grill instead of a PlayStation 5? Unplug it, right?
So our last article today is kind of funny. This article I found on thegamer.com. I'm going to just read it so you understand it a little bit better, because I think I'll fuck up the explanation if I don't just read it. At least an excerpt of it. So here we go. A new study carried out by a team of psychologists discovered that PlayStation owners had a collective IQ higher than that of Xbox owners. The report, compiled by Royal Panda, claimed PlayStation gamers were found to be cognitively superior to their Xbox playing counterparts. The study assessed the cognitive skills of 1,001 gamers, testing 4 key signs of intelligence, which are verbal intelligence, mathematical ability, logical reasoning, and visual reasoning. Before taking these tests, participants were asked a series of questions about their gaming habits, then were compared to their test scores to establish IQ levels for different console and individual video games. What do you think about that?
I was told growing up that if you don't have anything nice to say, you shouldn't say it at all. That's interesting, I suppose.
So I'm going to give you the numbers, and it's not like it's like a small margin.
Oh no. Can you actually send me the link like right now?
Yeah. I'll send you the link. Hold on. So let's not celebrate yet because PC gamers actually have the PlayStation gamers beat by about 2 points. So it's not a drastic thing. But if you look at the Xbox IQ, so the numbers are PC gamers is 112.3 IQ. PS4 gamers are 110.7 IQ. So this is about 2 point, less than 2 point. Xbox is 103.8. Whereas the Switch is 101.3 and mobile gamers are 99.4.
It's like Candy Crush, man.
It's the Candy Crush. Well, so speaking of that, I'm not going to get into this. There are more stats in the article, but you can check out the article yourself if you want to know more stats. And it also gives into specific. Yeah, it goes into specific game titles and the IQs of those type of players. So I'll just leave the link in the podcast show description if you guys are interested in jumping in and reading that stuff. But I just really find it hilarious that, you know, all this talk about the console wars and which system is better or which gamers are better. And yet the IQ thing, I think it's a hilarious debate to have, like a new debate, like a new part of the war now is who has the higher IQ.
I don't know, man. Fucking Among Us 118.9 IQ. I'm like,
I could understand.
Somebody did something wrong.
I could understand the game though. Like
I could understand.
That
Rainbow
requires
Six.
a lot of psychological thinking when it comes to a game like that.
I'm just gonna have a sip of my beer.
Yeah, I got my mezcal here today too.
And what mezcal are you drinking today, Danny? On like a better note.
Oh shit, I forgot which one I have because I'm always buying a different one. Let me check. Hold on. I am drinking Pelton Mezcal. Pelton de la Muerte.
The hell?
Yeah. It's not as smoky as I'd like, but it's good. I really like the heavy smoky mezcals. My favorite of like all of them so far is Montelobos, and that shit is incredibly hard to find for some reason. I found it in only one store in New York, and I have yet to find it in any stores in Georgia yet. What beer are you drinking?
I'm actually having, this is like the second time having it, the Voodoo Ranger IPA, New Belgium.
Ugh, IPAs.
All right, you and IPAs.
Yeah, you know how I feel about that.
Yeah. It's
your IQ's dropping right now.
I got that FIFA 106.5 IQ. I don't know, some of these numbers are like looking really funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a fun article. I don't think it's something to take too seriously. Like, seriously, don't really take this personal. This is just a joke. Regardless, like, yeah, it's an experiment that was done, but don't take it too seriously. It's just, we're all gamers. Just have a lot of fun with it. Who cares who's smarter, who's not?
Read the article with a grain of salt.
Yeah, pretty much. Much like many other articles, much other research. But yeah, I just thought that was a little fun thing to talk about towards the end before we move on to our next topic, which is basically just what games are we looking forward to for this year specifically, especially with the new consoles out and the ball starting to roll with all this new stuff, new quality games. So we're going to be right back with what we looking forward to this year.
And then we play like a commercial here.
Transition music. All right, Randy. So what kind of games are you looking forward to this year? And that includes like if you got any like PS5 games or Series X games that you might want to play whenever you eventually get those systems.
Honestly, like I'm pretty sure the Hitman 3 is coming out for like the PlayStation 4 too, right?
Yeah, it comes out this coming week.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Yeah, I already reserved it.
I have not. I thought I still had like a month or two ahead of me.
No, it comes out this week.
Well, seeing how you like talked me into the series last time, or time before last, kind of melts together. That's one of them that I'm excited for.
Oh, that's cool. So you got it appeals to you again. You give it another shot before it disappears in the wind and.
I don't know if it appeals to me yet. I'm gonna have to see how this one is.
You
know what I mean? I'm still a Hitman virgin, technically speaking.
Well, just have a lot of patience and
Oh, of course.
yeah, because it's one of those games where you kind of have to take your time observing everything to kind of get a game plan going on how you're gonna assassinate whoever it is.
Dude, if I could spend 70 hours on, actually over 200 hours collectively on one series, I think I could wait for this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
Well, I mean, but the pacing of a Kingdom Hearts game is very different from a pacing of, you know, Hitman. You know, there's a lot of action and swordplay and stuff in Kingdom Hearts, but like Hitman is literally just you walking around looking at things,
have you actually
getting an
tried
idea.
to 100% Kingdom Hearts 2?
Of course not,
bro. That shit. Oh, God, a lot of patience.
Yeah.
And patience as well. But no, I know how like the series is of itself, so I'll be as patient as I can be.
Yeah. But let me know how it is, because I'll definitely be playing it this week.
Oh, of course.
And I will be recording it. I don't think I'll stream it because I don't want to bore people with me just walking around figuring shit out. Like, I'd rather just record it.
50 minutes walking around, and then the last 2 is just you killing somebody.
Exactly, and I'll probably sign off from that by that point. So
you're like, fuck this, I'm out.
That was the problem I had with Bloodstained last week. I was playing Bloodstained. I was streaming Bloodstained, and I got stuck. I don't know where to go next. I got this new power, and it's I would assume that it's supposed to unlock my way to the next route, but I can't find what that route is. So I'm like running around for like a good 30 minutes, and I'm like, all right, at this point, I'm just going to sign off, guys. I'm sorry that I'm boring you. I'm just going to figure it out myself where to go, and then once I actually figure out where I'm supposed to do, I'll start streaming the game again. So I ended up jumping on a PC game instead because, you know, I don't want to bore people watching.
So it's like a true Castlevania game.
It really is, yeah. There's a lot of blocked areas, and you can't get to it until you unlock certain powers and stuff like that. So, yeah,
there's not as much hand holding as there is nowadays.
No, I like not. I don't like my hand being held. So yeah, I appreciate me just going off and learning on my own.
Yeah, of course. Dude, way back when fucking games were relentless. So, you know, when publishers experimented with their IPs.
Say what?
So when publishers experimented with their IPs.
What do you mean?
When they used to like actually have creative ideas.
Oh yeah. They used to just test some things out. That was nice.
Yeah.
Not like I said, they play it safe now. So, I mean, like I remember, not Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword, when that came out, like that held your hand for everything.
Yep.
I never finished a game because that fucking, what was her name? Fi? Sword? Which was, the sword essentially.
I think it was
she spoke, she was worse than Navi. She spoke like every 5 fucking minutes, and she didn't shut up and like just telling me everything about the world and what was going on. I'm like, I just want to play the game. And it didn't let me because it's just so much dialogue and talking and pointless like filler. It's just like, yeah, I had enough of this, and I never finished the game.
You know, it's
Wind Waker now does the exact opposite. They just throw you in there, and I had the best time ever.
Oh, Wind Waker?
I mean, sorry, not Wind Waker. I didn't mean Wind Waker. I mean, Wind Waker is great. I fucking love Wind Waker, but I meant Breath of the Wild.
Oh, Dragon's Breath, yes.
Yeah.
Because the world was like available from the get.
Yeah.
So with that, it's just like, do it however the fuck you want. We don't care. Just have fun. That's it. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, you have like an occasional small tutorial here and there.
Yeah, especially for like some mini games or something like that, or like where you had to go or who you had to fight, things like that. But yeah, there was no hand holding involved, and in fact, there was a lot of things that people had to figure out on their own. There was 100 million things that you'd find out online that you could do. Yeah,
and even then, like people are still finding fucking exploits now, and if not exploits, just like little kind of quality of life things. But funny actually, to go back to what you said on Fee being like worse than Navi, to find out, to make sure that like the name was actually Fee, I had to look it up, and there's an IGNboards.com thing that the title of it says Fee from Skyward Sword is annoying and worse than Navi.
Oh yes, you
No
see,
personality and never shuts the fuck up. The only
and I-
upside to her, she doesn't give vague responses when you ask her for help.
yeah, and I did not even get that opinion like from some message board or anything. That was truly like just strictly my own opinion about the game, and I hated the game overall. It was bad. I'd be
Skyward wasn't
willing.
a good one. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean the gameplay was okay. The combat, anyways, I should say. But
That's why it wasn't good. Just being okay is not enough for a Legend of Zelda game.
Exactly. I'd
You
be
got
willing to
Majora's
try it again if they did like a remastered and eliminate like a lot of the filler stuff.
Mhm.
If they change some things up, I'll be willing to try it again because story wise, lore wise, it's interesting because it's literally the first. It's the origins of the Master Sword, and it's the origins of like the whole curse in general of the what do they call him, the Warrior of Time or something like that, of him becoming Link of Legend. So that is interesting, but I could not get through it. I think we're getting sidetracked because we've been talking about that.
Back to the anticipated games.
Back to the anticipated games. What did you mention again? Hitman, yeah. So for me, it would be Resident Evil Village.
Of course.
I have so much faith now, again, with Capcom because of 7 and of course the remakes of 2 and 3. They're finally getting back to the roots with horror. Now I am a little bit iffy with the fact that they're touching more on like the fantasy horror with these werewolves and witches and vampires. So I'm wondering how they're going to explain this when it involves like the virus and stuff. But regardless, the gameplay looks fun and scary. The atmosphere is scary. The whole village is a whole entity of itself. And like that, it looks like it's still going to be a lot of scary fun.
I still haven't seen much on it, but from what you're saying, it does sound pretty good, actually.
Did you hear about like the different like monsters that they'll have?
No. I did see the thing about werewolves, but not anything else about witches and shit.
Yeah, they have like these photos. It's mostly photos that they have, but you can catch some footage of certain things as well. But they have like these vampire characters and these witch characters. I don't know in what capacity they'll be in as like actual enemies or they're just actual characters. I'm not sure. Capcom is supposed to reveal some gameplay footage. If not this week, it's next week. So we'll see how that goes. But regardless, I'm excited for it because I just miss Resident Evil horror games.
We all do.
Yeah. So what's next for you?
For me, it would be Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, fucking I used to play the old Lord of the Rings games on the PS2 with my brother. Those were very like hack and slash RPG kind of things. Afterwards, I didn't really play many of them. I did play, which one is it? Shadow of Mordor?
Yeah.
The Assassin's Creed Lord of the Rings game.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That one was really fun. But after that, like after and before that, not many of the games had like appealed to me. But the concept of this one being like his story actually like being true to source in terms of the books.
Yes.
It's appealing. And also, it's not going to be like very combat heavy because it's Gollum. He's a passive thing, you know?
So did it mention it's going to be more stealth based?
Yes.
Okay.
Which they said it was a Prince of Persia stealth thing, which I'm actually going to hop into my next anticipated game, the Sands of Time remake.
The remake, yeah. Yeah. That is a classic that I have missed for a long time.
When was the last time they were good? After Warrior Within was the last time it was good, right?
Warrior Within. I can't remember which one that was. Was it the second or third one? Because I remember one of them. They
had the eyeliner.
Eyeliner? What?
Yeah, when he was like the emo looking prince. When MCR was like really really big.
I remember. I don't know. I remember him being like he had this like the split personality thing.
Oh, Two Thrones.
Was it that one? Yeah, when he was like dark and ashy-ish with like
yes. With the kind of like spinal whip weapon kind of thing. Yes. Okay, yeah. So that one was after Warrior Within.
Okay, yeah, that one was fun. I remember that one. I think that's when like they dropped the ball after that. I feel.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, no, fucking Sands of Time. You can't go wrong with that one, man.
Yeah,
It
you're
was
right.
really good.
Yeah, that was a good one. I actually can't wait for that one. That was good
because it was the first one.
Well, not the first one, but it's definitely like the first, like,
you know what I mean, the first 3D one. Because the other one was a dude taking pictures of his brother in like his PJs, like to get all the animation down.
Yeah,
and that was
it's funny, you know that.
Actually, have you tried to play it?
The old school one? Yeah,
yeah.
I played those as a kid.
Hard.
It is.
Like the platforming is really good, but at the same time, it's super jank because you have to know exactly where the fuck you're going. But that's what makes it good, also.
Yeah, it was a tough game, but it was a lot of fun. It was I wouldn't call it janky. I would definitely say it was like very slow, like a slow response game. It wasn't very responsive as you'd think it'd be.
To be fair, I did play it when I was like 12, 13 because they had it on the Xbox Marketplace for the 360.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, hey, let me give it a shot.
Oh no, I played the original that was like on what do you call those, floppy disks on
oh my god,
on PCs. Yeah, floppy disks.
Fucking floppy disks. Shit. I think the last time I had used one was for like music, and I was really fucking little.
Oh man.
Like elementary school.
If I showed an 18-year-old right now with a floppy, like if I showed them a floppy disk, what would they think it is? Oh man,
that just sounds dirty.
But
all right, what's your next game?
Well, yeah, I'll give you my next two games. My first game, I kicked myself in the ass for playing Nier Automata, and after playing for like 2 hours, I could not get into that game, and I traded it in. So I sold it, and after a while, like that's when I really started to hear so much praise for Nier Automata, and I was like, "What the fuck? Like, why are these people like claiming this game is a masterpiece? Why is this game so good? Like, what are people talking about?" And then I'm hearing about the multiple endings, and I'm hearing this, and I'm hearing that, and all the craziness, and I'm like, "What the fuck did I just miss out on?" Like, I just traded this game in, I couldn't get into it, but it's sounding like more and more better and better and better. So I rebought the game and played through the entire thing, and it was just as amazing as everybody made it out to be. Multiple endings, such deep story, a lot of philosophical ideas come from this game, and I couldn't wait for like a sequel or something. So as we know, Nier Replicant is another game coming out soon, and that's what I'm excited for. It's supposed to come out this year.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the original one that came out.
It is.
Yeah, like overseas with the Raiden lookalike, right? Yes. Yes. So when we got Nier with the guy that had the underwear over his head, that you know that Nier, the first one.
Like the hack and slashy looking one?
Yeah, the one with the Gara as the book.
Yes.
Grimoire Vice. Yeah. When we got that one overseas, they got Replicant first. So that one was pretty fucking annoying.
So yeah, I have my hopes up with this coming up because, like, even though I understand that it is an old version or an older game, I just love the quality that they gave for Automata. And because I never played this one, so I was like, yes, I'm excited for this. I want to try this game. I want to see what it has to offer. And I hope it does well, because if, you know, the Nier franchise gets enough recognition, it's making so much money, and then, you know, it's due for a sequel or something else along, you know, somewhere around the world, that world.
Yeah.
So I would hope for the best for this.
You know, it's actually part of the Drakengard series.
It takes place in the same world, right? Yeah, I heard that, but I couldn't see it. I didn't understand how was that possible.
Because it's supposed to take place, I think, for one of the endings in Drakengard 2, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, it's 1 and 2 go in line with the Nier world, and then 3 for Drakengard has nothing to do with these. It's
in a different world? Oh, okay.
It's supposed to be an alternate timeline, but the original is supposed to continue with Gestalt, Replicant, and Automata.
Okay, yeah, I have heard that, but I could not see the connection. I wasn't a huge fan of Drakengard. I played the first 2, and only the first one I could probably even remember any of it. And that's fairly old enough for me to just not remember any of it at all. But yeah, I couldn't see a connection, but that's an interesting thing. And then so my second one, moving on, is Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. Were you a fan of the game?
Played it.
Never got to play it. It came out at about the same time as, it actually came out the same day, I think, of Breath of the Wild. So people were comparing it to Breath of the Wild, of course, because Breath of the Wild just gets more recognition because it's Zelda. But Zero Dawn was an amazing game, especially the story, which got me hooked more so than the gameplay, even though the gameplay was just as good. So I'm interested more in how this world is coming about in the new game. Do you have any idea of what the story was or anything like that for the first game?
Not at all. All I know is just like robot dinosaurs, and that's about it.
Yeah, I like that concept with like hunting for parts and stuff like that, and of course actual like plants and animals and things. The story was essentially like it takes place on Earth, and society had basically went back to the Stone Age and working its way up because society their technology was so advanced, it got to the point where it started to take over the world. And there's more details than that. That's just that in a nutshell as well. But they got to a point where they understood that the technology that they were building was taking over the world and it was destroying the world, and there was no way out of it. So they came up with another technology, another protocol, essentially, that it was a machine that was able to create life from machines, which is where you get the dinosaurs and all the animals from. So this machine or this protocol essentially tries to bring life back to Earth in the only way it knows how, which is to create plants and animals to start developing the Earth all over and start over again. So that's where you get all these like machines that look like, you know, the animals and dinosaurs and stuff that we know. So it's a lot deeper than that. It talks a lot about a lot of other philosophical stuff as well, such as like, you know, where are we going in the future, and the technology that we're bringing about, is it safe and not? Yeah, I'm excited for that one too. Forbidden West is more so for the story. I'm hoping also, of course, that they don't stick too much to the same gameplay, because after a while it does start to get repetitive. A lot like, you know, like a Far Cry game where you're just running around in an open world and you're just collecting a lot of shit to do, a lot of crafting, and it gets kind of boring after a while. So we'll see.
It sounds pretty good though, from what you told me. Like, I've kind of wanted to play it, but I don't know. Like, there's always something else that kind of catches my attention more than Horizon. But kind of hearing it now, it's like, okay, I do understand why people do enjoy the game. So maybe I'll give it a shot.
Yeah,
I can't say when, but
if you can get a hold of it as, you know, even just like a discount game, you know, $10-$20, I would say go for it. Even download like a digital copy and then just download it whenever you find yourself without a game to play. I, for one, would recommend it more so for the story than anything else. The gameplay is okay. The hunting stuff is pretty cool, especially like the way you fight some of the like the larger dinosaurs and stuff. But it's a story that got me. So if story is something that you look for, something that could really hook you, then you might be interested in it. Of course. Yeah.
See, like, gameplay is important, obviously.
Yeah.
But also, like, story does have to do a lot with like games that I do enjoy.
Yeah.
Like Okami, for example, which is why I platinumed it. Because that one I played when it actually came out originally for the PS2. And the story itself like did captivate me as a child. And when I saw they were releasing it, I was really excited. I didn't get a chance to play it until I got the PlayStation. But even now, like, the story's still amazing. And funnily enough, there's a lot of things that kind of went over my head, having been so young. Because it came out 2006. So I was 9 at the time. So clearly some of the things are going to go over my head. But like now at 23 years old, it's like holy shit. Some of them were. It's a lot deeper than you really thought it was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. You got any others on your list?
Yes, I do. Bravely Default 2.
Yeah.
I still have to be the first one, to be very, very fair. And I still have to play Bravely Second, because I never got to that. But it's really cool that they're coming out with Bravely Default 2.
I'm in the same boat. I never beat the first one. I got really far, but I never beat it. Is it all one continuous storyline? Are they like actual sequels to each other?
I think that second is a side story. I could be completely wrong. I don't really know much about it, if I'm being very honest. But going based off the titles, I guess, I don't think that second has like the same characters. Oh no, Bravely Second is a sequel to
from the first.
Default. Yeah.
Okay, so but Bravely Default 2, is that a sequel you said, or that's a spinoff?
Let's see.
Okay.
Bravely Default 2. Nobody looks familiar there, so I'm assuming it's a whole different fucking game in of itself.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
everyone looks.
Not that totally, it matters.
I mean, either way, like if it's gonna be the same mechanics, then dude, bring it on.
Yeah, it was a fun mechanic. It was very different, and traditional RPG story, traditional art style and stuff. But it was an interesting story. It was an interesting mechanics though.
Yeah, like you could stall your turns to stack them up and then take 4 in one go if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's just the multiple turns in one. That was really cool about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did like that.
And also the jobs, they were super unique.
I can't remember most of them.
I was super generic with it. I had the Guardian, which was my basically tank, the White Mage, Black Mage, and I had a Monk, which was like solid DPS. With the tank himself, I had his secondary job as, what is it, the first one that you get that allows you to scan, so you could like see your enemy weaknesses and shit like that.
Yeah.
Both mages respectively were second jobs opposites. So my White Mage was able to deal damage with the Black Mage secondary, and the Black Mage was able to heal on the off chance something happened to the White Mage, or if I needed heals like that, you know? And then the Monk, she had, I don't know what her secondary was. I think it was the money guy. I forgot what the hell that one was called. But you know the really
the one that smacks him with money?
Yeah. But yeah, it was like a kind of standard RPG team that I had. How about you? Any other games?
Yeah, I do have 3 more. So we got a bit of time left. First one, or the next one, is Gotham Knights. We talked about this before. We're like, I fucking love the Gotham franchise, or not the Gotham franchise, the Arkham franchise. Sorry. So this plays similar, of course, but it's like a multiplayer version, and you can play as the different Bat Family characters. So I would love to play this, especially with you, so we can actually do some multiplayer together. So I look forward to this because I'm a huge Batman fan. I love the stories and stuff like that. So I'm interested in how this goes down. What do you think about this game?
I'm excited for it. I'm like not super into comics personally. Like I do like the characters.
And you call yourself a nerd.
Bitch, I'm a nerd in like other ways. Come on. I obsessively play Magic, I guess. Hello?
And soon to be D&D.
Soon to be D&D. I still have to learn more about it, and then we can definitely do more shit on that.
Yeah.
But I'm interested on how it's gonna play. Just if when we do play, I call dibs on Nightwing.
Of course. I honestly don't mind who I play. I mean, I'm sure I'll get my hand on everybody, but
you'll be Batgirl, right?
I found my niche. I'll end up as Batgirl, I'm sure.
All right. What about your next game?
So I also got. Have you ever played the first Psychonauts?
No, but I know that 2 is coming out.
Oh, so good. So yeah, I'm excited for Psychonauts 2. I think it was supposed to come out last year, and it got delayed over the whole COVID stuff. So it was such a good game. Psychonauts was so different. We talked about a franchise going stale or people playing it too safe. Psychonauts was such a different game for its time.
Honestly,
Double Fine was
Tim Schafer
Yes.
Yeah. He's a fucking amazing visionary when it comes to like storyboards and shit like that.
He's such a good storyteller.
Hell yeah. Fucking did you play Brutal Legend?
I did. That was,
Did you like
although it surprised the hell out of me that it was an RTS game,
Eventually,
I still loved it. I still loved it.
Because it was a metal hack and slash with RTS elements and like the kind of bigger turning points of the plot.
Yeah.
It was the main part without being the main part, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But no, it was amazing. And like Tim Schafer being behind all that.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, my headphones just got messed up right now, so I was adjusting those. So Psychonauts 2, Tim Schafer is an amazing storyteller, and that I was excited for Psychonauts 2 because it's Double Fine still, and it's Tim Schafer still working on it, and I'm hoping it has the same quality standards. The first Psychonauts game had a lot of humor, some good humor, and it had this very interesting story of like getting into like you're diving into other people's psyche.
Mm-hmm.
And that turns into a specific world based off what their psyche is. So it was like really colorful, trippy ass environments that was really cool. So I'm hoping this does more of that.
I feel like it's still going to be just as good as the first, because it's not going to be saturated in terms of like, oh, let's try to appeal to whatever generation, wherever it is. It's going to be Psychonauts, and that's what it's going to be. So I have high hopes for it, honestly.
Yeah, me too. At least I hope it is more of the same thing. They don't try too hard to kind of change things up. Just stick to the same thing. I think that's what everybody loved, especially those who played the first one. And
in this one, we definitely hope that they play it safe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because even the writing, it was like they did a lot without doing too much. Oof, I'm excited, honestly.
Yeah. You got any more on your list?
Just Monster Hunter Rise, honestly.
Of course. Yeah.
The demo came out like sometime last week.
Did you get to play it?
Oh hell yeah!
I didn't get to touch it yet. How's it going so far? Like, what's so different about it? I know they got the grappling mechanics, or the grapple hook mechanics, I should say.
Not exactly.
What? How so?
Not for World. They have it, but they expanded on it in a more Nintendo way. Not just you'll climb onto them or whatever the case. I still have to do the monster riding thing because I'm like trying to figure out how to use the bug itself to do like. Pardon me. Oh, that one came from like the throat. To do more like the new attacks, because it's you now have like this kind of gauge, I would say, that it expunges itself when you want to do like this kind of weapon specific grapple attack.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing how I use a hammer, that's what I started with, obviously. And it makes it so much easier to do aerial combat with it. To figure out the rest, I'm gonna have to use it, of course. But it's more open while maintaining the same size as the older games, where the board wasn't exactly that huge, but it does feel that huge because of all the mobility that you have.
But it's also more vertical now as well, right? Like, now there's no barrier from the top of a mountain to the bottom of the floor, right?
No, none at all.
That's kind of one of the things that I noticed about it that was like very different and more interesting. Like, now you could really traverse the area in so many more different ways. It makes it more interesting.
And you could ride your fucking dog too.
Yeah, I saw that.
Even if you don't like get on a fucking monster, like, again, I still have to figure out how to do that, but you get across the entire map so quickly that way. Because before, how like you used to have your Palico and it was just like it was you and the cat.
Yeah.
Now it's you, the cat, and the dog.
What is a Palamute? I think it was called Palamute.
But no, it's a really good demo, honestly.
Okay.
So I say give it a shot. And you have like a 30 quest limit to do multiplayer as well.
30 quest limit?
Yeah, because it gives you an option of like 4 quests. One of them beginner, the other one is intermediate, where it's you fight the Mizutsune, which is like this kind of bubble fox snake thing that was in, I want to say, Cross Generations. I could be wrong on that one. It could be Ultimate 4. But either way, like on the DS, they came out with that one. So to see that one's back, it's really like, it's fun. They also brought back the Ludroth, from what I saw, like in the armor. A lot of the old monsters that you didn't see in World, that you saw like in the portable games, are definitely making a comeback. So the roster in the bestiary is going to be fucking massive.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely a game I'll play too.
And how about you? You got any more?
Yeah, I got my final one is one more, which is Outriders. That's a PS5 game. So eventually I would hope I'd get a PS5 so I could be able to play this game. But Outriders I'm excited for, more so because, of course, as you know, I'm a Destiny fanatic. And I feel like it plays a lot like that, with a twist of Gears of War. So it's got like this Gears of War feel with the cover mechanics and the shooting and everything. Of course, it being third person view, but it also got like that weird space magic type of feel. Like it's got space magic and powers and supers and the weird skills and stuff like that. So it's got this fantasy sci-fi setting, and I was like, yeah, I'm really feeling this. I hope it plays well. It's not like it doesn't turn out to be something like Godfall, which I'm hearing it's not getting the best reviews, or something like Anthem, where it's hyped to all hell and then ends up
it sucks,
being mediocre. So yeah, Outriders I'm excited for as well. Hopefully I can get the system. That was your final one, your last one, right?
For Ride, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Outriders is the last one. I guess that's it for that segment. I'd like to actually know what you guys think, anybody listening, about what are the games are you looking forward to, or is it any of the ones that we spoke about today on the episode? Do you disagree with any stuff that we talked about?
Do you feel like your IQ is higher than what it says you are playing Candy Crush?
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be a fun debate. You guys should really hit us up about what are your thoughts on that whole IQ article?
Dude, honestly, the whole thing is just like, to each your fucking own.
Yeah.
Because I'm not defending the smart, I'm not defending the stupid. Or that was mean, I'm sorry. I'm not defending those of lesser IQ, but I don't know. It's just like everyone kind of works differently. And how to put it? Well, one of them that I saw was like Minecraft had an IQ of like 116.8 or some shit like that. And I feel like games like that appeal, not just only appeal, but they also kind of help a different kind of audience. Like someone that wouldn't exactly be too much into Call of Duty or something like The Last of Us, they might do better in terms of Minecraft because it lets like their creativity out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's, take it with a mountain of fucking salt, that entire article.
Of course, yeah, that's a good point, because each game brings out a different aspect of your skill base. Like, Call of Duty, I would say, it focuses on twitch reaction and reflexes, whereas Minecraft, like you said, it opens up your creativity and your artistic side and stuff, and then there's games that have more puzzle based things. They focus more on puzzle solving and critical thinking and stuff. So it's all very different stuff. So don't take it personal. It's a simple, small research that they did, and it's not really meant to be taken too seriously, because I'm sure there are a lot of stupid games out there that probably make people even stupider when it comes to PlayStation games.
Looking at you, Fortnite.
Fortnite. That's more for the youngins. I think we're too old for that stuff now.
You have no idea how many adults take that shit seriously, though. Honestly,
I don't. Well, there's a lot of adults who are freaking making millions of dollars playing that game. I mean, look at Ninja. But yeah, that's.
I understand all to each their own, but it ain't that serious, dude.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, if you're making money off of it, sure, just keep at it, but it shouldn't be taken seriously as if like, you know, it's the end all be all of video games.
Yeah.
Because that fad is, well, it's not a fad, but that trend is sure to die out in the next at least 5 years, I would think.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. We're gonna leave it at that, and I guess we'll see you in the next episode. And yeah, send us some emails. Let us know what you think.
Of course.
Laters.
See you.